Today I want to talk about race. It's come up quite a bit from the Democrats, accusing the President Trump of being a racist. And I just wanted to speak about my involvement with race. And what I'm saying is, here in Canada, where I was raised, there was no people of color. Uh, There was the odd German or the odd Italian, but there was no people of color. And it wasn't until 1964, maybe 63, and my dad flew the family down to Florida for a vacation. And my older brother and I could hear noise from a distance. We didn't know what it was, so we went down to investigate. I was 9 years old, maybe. And when we got to where the noise was happening, it was a race riot. My eyes were wide. I was bug-eyed. I'd never seen nothing like this. The police were fighting with the black people. So that was my introduction. And I can remember as a 9-year-old looking out the door. We lived about in the suburbs, about 20 miles outside Toronto. And I saw my first black person walking down the road. And it was such an event that I phoned my buddy a few doors down and told him to meet me outside. Now, outside was a school, and the school had a row of trees as a boundary. And we were so taken aback that we hid behind the trees, and as the individual walked further away, we run to the next street. That was my introduction. A couple of years later, I was at high school, my first year. I'm going out for the football team, and there was a fellow by the name of Dave Mann, and he was kicker for the Toronto Argonauts of the Canadian Football League. Well, it just happened that his son, Dave Mann Jr., was trying out when I was for the high school football team, the junior team. Excuse me. Him and I became best friends. Best friends. And I can remember around that same time, my dad and my mom driving us downtown Toronto, and the amount of black people downtown Toronto was phenomenal. Here I was going from never having seen one to befriending a black person to, and what had happened was the United States had initiated a draft system for the Vietnam War. So all the draft dodgers, most of them came to Canada. Now the white draft dodgers blended in, but the black draft dodgers didn't. That was my introduction. And I can honestly say that in my 66 years, I have never witnessed any kind of friction between whites and blacks. That's just the way it was growing up. And when you look at it, coming from slavery like they did, now they run businesses, they're policemen, they're firemen, whatever they decide, that they want to do, the black people of the United States, they can do. So really, I don't want to hear about the racial trouble in the States anymore. As soon as they start talking about it on YouTube or CNN, I turn it. I think that the blacks are doing all right, anything they want. And remember, as I always finish with, keep America great.